leisure. They will be purely, you know, looked at from the perspective of is key. If you must have this sports being looked from the business initiative. You think this new sports minister will, because we talked about solidarity, getting this policy off ground. We've seen, the policy, and I think that policy yielded the medals for the year. What other incentive do you think should be coming from this sports minister to ensuring that football, especially and basketball, we've seen in athletics as well, throwing up professionalism in terms of quality infrastructure, incentive given to the athletes, and the investment generally in developing sports, across the entire country?
I think the first thing is to look at the football master plan. Look at the football master plan that has been already, that is part of this form of our sports now. I think is to look at it and look at the areas where we can drive in private partnership. As it stands now, look at the league, because the league is the grand norm of every football activity in the country, even before you get to national team. So, and when you do that, you'll be able to look at, okay, what are the areas that we can help funding? Do we have support this funding, and how advantage can we get from external means? If you look at this, it will really help, because by so doing, with the brand that left for them to go back, and they have a brand sponsors in different areas. For national team, already know that they have a lot of sponsors, so it's just a matter of moving. And I think about the person too. As a fan, he said already that he's an acumen, in doing business, so it can use business acumen to really get a whole lot. But I think the sports policy is the framework is very open. It's just about getting the right set of people to man the activities and push it. But I think it's high time when we go professional. And how do we start that? It starts from the grassroots. If we have football games in the NPL, it's about encouraging clubs, even if they're owned by government. Let's encourage gate takings, small, so that people have value for what they pay for. And by the time we start branding these things, it makes a whole lot of sense. Basketball activities, the NBBF must be called to order. Encourage those federations, sporting federations, to live up to the billing, to be lucrative and idealistic in their plans. If they do that, because all the sports are under his care, if he's able to, harness the talents and the administrative machineries of this sporting federation, almost all these things we're saying will just be a thing of the past, because it takes human resource to achieve some of the thing. And when you achieve human resource, then financial resources will just come by naturally.
Sports stakeholders in Nigeria have charged the new sports minister, Tameno, to ensure proper implementation of the national youth policy, sports policy, which delves on the infrastructure, ensure that the proper infrastructure, are put in place across the country. And of course, the athletes themselves who use this infrastructure have something to look forward to. They are properly given incentives that will motivate them to get the job done. And investment. In the past, we've seen the government shoulder 100% responsibilities about sports here in Nigeria. But in the last few days of Sunday Diary, this investment, sports generally was shared between government and the private sector. We want to see the new sports minister, or do I say stakeholders want to see the new sports minister ensure that there is proper collaboration between government and the private sector, ensuring that sports is professionalized, just the same way we have it across the rest of the world. We wish this new sports minister the best of luck and ensure that he will do just what he has promised the stakeholders in the last 48 hours. Let's stay away from that now and now go to athletics proper. And I must tell you that Sunday Diary's major haul, one of his major achievements was the ensuring that in Nigeria had a world record during his tenure, and that's Tobi Amusa. Tobi Amusa's world record was not defended at the ongoing World Athletics Championship in Budapest. Just 2 years down the line, we saw Tobi Amusa, come 6th in the 100 meters hurdle event that was decided out there in Budapest. Jamaican Daniela Williams, winner in 2015 of the same title, came back to win in 2023. And Camacho Queen, the much expected Camacho Queen, came second with a bronze medal. And we didn't get to see our own Toby Musa on the podium. She came distance sixth, courtesy of a 12 point, I think 5 to 6 seconds. This is a far cry from her world record of 12.12 seconds.
Truly a far cry. But I mean, do we really expect that? Do we expect her to win? Yes, we did. Looking at the challenger, just barely 2 days before she was cleared by the IAIU, a lot of persons, I wanted her to just be part. We heard that she was really preparing for the World Athletics Championship because she knew that she would be cleared. But somehow, her mindset was not emotionally, psychologically, it was not herself. But going down from the first heat down to the semi-finals, we saw how far she blazed on. But like I said, and I continue to say, Toby Emotion, with the mindset she came into and what that she's been through in the last 1 month, I mean, the set we saw yesterday, that the lineup of athletes we saw competing against her yesterday, for me, seems to be one of the best I've ever seen in recent time. And I'm not surprised because in individual hits, we saw how they blazed on. Although the eventual winner of this particular one, Michelle Williams, she was not blistering, from a start, but she got qualified to this level. So for me, I was not surprised at all that she never won it. I was even thinking that Camacho Queen. But when I look at the timing, I knew that she's going to have a challenge because look at what Kendra Harrison was doing from the heat down to the semi-finals, down to the last. I knew that if there's an athlete that would do the needful yesterday was Kendra. Unfortunately, she came second. So for me, I was not really bothered about her winning. All I wanted is for at least get a podium finish. Unfortunately, sometimes what we wish for did not come to reality.
Toby Musa was not on the podium at the event concluded last night at Budapest. That's in the 100 meters hurdle event. Let's look at the timing, and for me, that's where I get worried. That she was not on the podium is not much of a worry for me, but the timing that she posted is what worries me. If you remember, she had a world record at 12.12 2 years ago in Oregon, that's in the United States of America. 12.12 seconds. That was in her semi-final time. And the final, she further reduced to 12.06, but that was not as taken because of wind. So it means that she's capable of running, say, 12.06 or 12.10. Taking a benchmark of 12.12, she posted at the semi-final that gave her the world record. But in Budapest, yes, last night, we saw her post a time of 12.62, which is 0.50 of her world record time, which could have been further reduced if you have taken the final times. 12.62 as compared to, Daniela Williams, the 2015 winner, who posted a time of 12.43. Vis-a-vis the much expected race from Camacho Queen, who posted a time of 12.44. So it was just 0.01 second, difference between Daniela Williams from Jamaica and Camacho Queen, who a lot of people thought will win this one, as compared to 12.62 posted by Toby Musa of Nigeria.
Yeah, the timing is truly worrisome. I mean, if you follow keenly how athletes, how this timing works, you know that they judge your timing. It gives you whether you have a season best, personal best, world record, or championship lead. But I think that from the start of this competition, from the heat, we knew that she had a slow start in all her races, and that slow start alone is about timing, and so it affected her. Even in the semi-finals, we saw how it's just a matter of 2 points that she was able to, she won her compatriot. So I knew that it wouldn't be as easy as we have expected. Sometimes, yeah, a bit of preparation and luck. I think that the massive preparation we saw last year, the motivation, it wasn't like that. Emotions have a way of bringing down your preparation naturally. These are natural laws that it's difficult to really entangle. No matter how happy she was, no matter how far, you cannot take away the massive preparation that others had, prior to this time, and herself preparing for the championship, also having a case to answer. I mean, it takes a whole lot. So one will naturally understand that, yes, my happiness is that she did the needful in the heat, did the needful, even if the timing is worrisome. But I feel that she part of her challenge was having a slow start. I mean, she looks like, when they say on your mast, I mean, she looks like somebody who is thinking about something else. You know, a lot of pressure on her. Can I achieve this? And before she knows it, when they say go, you know, she moves slow than others. So I think that a whole lot of factors might have played in. But the biggest is she was highly distracted prior to this competition, and we can take that away from Tobilola Motion.
3 weeks before the kickoff of the World Athletics Championship, Tobi Amusan, if you remember, was suspended, indefinitely by the Athletics Integrity Unit of the World Athletics, and for reasons of missing 3 out of competition tests, and she had to go to the tribunal and was cleared by the tribunal just about 3 days or so before the eventual kickoff of the World Athletics Championship. And so maybe this playing on her mind has slowed her down, causing her to put a time of 12.62 seconds in the 100 meters hurdle event, won by Daniela Williams of Jamaica, who put up a time of 12.43 seconds. Well, we say it's not all over. I'm sure from what we heard from Tobi Amusan herself, she will be back. Yes, and I believe she will be back because for the winner of this race, Daniela Williams, if you remember, she won at this same 100 meters hurdle event way back in 2015. And 8 years after, she's come back again to win. So who says that Tobi Amusan will not come back after another 2 years? We wish her the best of preparations and hope it can get only better for Tobi Amusan. But talking about Tobi Amusan and Team Nigeria at the World Athletics Championship, she's not only one having a bad day, because it looks like the Nigerian athletes so far have had a bad outing at the World Athletics Championship. Only yesterday we saw one of Nigeria's favorite sprinters, Favour Philly, who failed to, of course, get to the podium at all. We saw Akintola as well, all crashed out in the 200 meters women event. Ekbo, how bad can it be for Nigerians at the World Athletics Championship?
Truly, truly bad. Let's call it spade a spade. I think that we have not done ourselves in gold, and I think that it calls for homework, proper homework subsequently. But you ask yourself that when we talk about exposure at the international scene at the highest level, when we talk about competing, I know how experiences are allowed. I think that if you look at the lineup that we have faced this year, just maybe Tobilola Motion is the only athlete, and maybe as a Brume, that have been able to compete strongly with the best. They've had time, from college students, and it's difficult to really have time to compete with the likes of Sherika Jackson, who, of course, standing store, Shakari Richardson. These are standing names, and it's really, really very difficult. So I think that our young lads are just coming up. As time progresses with the right training and the right mindset, they'll get there. But for me, it's really very unfortunate. The likes of Ofili, the likes of Alaba Kintola, who was being privileged because of the disqualification of Zizi, in the 200-meter race semi-final. I never expected much from them, but I think that if we develop them in the right direction and allow them to compete and continue to sponsor them, I mean, who says that with the experience they've garnered, they will not do more? I just believe that it's about the timing. Let's work on their timing. And they themselves, they know that when you work on your timing, you're able to compete strongly with the best names in the world. But, I mean, nobody would have expected Philly to get something from a certain Sherika Jackson.
Talking about the 200 meters event at the ongoing World Athletics Championship, Sherika Jackson in the female has confirmed her status as a champion, though this is the heat, but he was able to post a time of 22.00 seconds. And, of course, the reigning fastest woman in the world right now, talking about Shakari Richardson, she came second in the 200 meters event, courtesy of a time of 22.20 seconds. It's the heat, so we're still looking forward to the final. But Nigerians have crashed out. Favour Philly, I mentioned to you, came 6th in the heat, and so she's not qualified to move to the semi-final stage of the 200 meters event. And still talking about 200 meters event, Akintola of Nigeria as well crashed out in the men's 200 meters event. And he didn't qualify at all, where we saw other established runners come through. So far, I do say so bad for Nigeria at the World Athletics Championship. But we still have a couple of more days to get to the end of the championship. Let's hope that Nigerians can bounce back. But you ask me, where if they are not qualifying to the final of the event, apart from the 100 meters hurdle event where we've seen, Tobi Amusan crash out. So let's hope that maybe we will still see them in the other events which they have entered for. We entered for about 15 events in this World Athletics Championship out of the available 49. We just hope that with just 2 or so out of the way now, we might just get a headway in the other event. Time for us to take a break, and then when we return from the break, we'll still focus on some outstanding performances at the World Athletics Championship. And of course, get to football. It is weekend, and top European football actions is returning. Don't forget there is CAF Champions League this weekend as well. So when we return from the break, we'll share you the details, and I'm sure it will be a fun weekend for you in the world of sports. Welcome back. Sports Talk here on Atlantic Television Network, and we'll bring you up to speed with the latest happening around the world of sports. I'm talking about the world of sports, the latest right now, and of course, one of the biggest events going on in the world of sports is the World Athletics Championship ongoing at Budapest, Hungary. And something spectacular has happened at Budapest at the World Athletics Championship. It has to do with moments where two athletes agree to share a medal. We saw it at the last Tokyo Olympic Games, where a Qatari and an Italian shared, a gold medal in the 100 meters event. Now we are seeing an American and an Australian, two of them female, Cathy Moon from America and Nina Kennedy, both agreeing to share the pole vault, gold medal, because they could not continue. After 3 attempts, they were still locked at 4.90 meters. And they could have gone for jump-off to determine who will come second and who will come first. But two of them rather choose to meet among themselves and thereafter hug themselves, saying that they agree to share the gold medal. And so they turn to the third place pole voter to say, well, we are done. So you take the bronze while we share the gold medal. Epo, this is very touching. We saw it, like I mentioned before, at the last Olympic Games, where someone from Qatar and another athlete from Italy did share a gold medal. It's repeating itself at Budapest.
Yeah, it's lovely to really see what leaders today. Prior to that, sharing, that Cathy Moon is the defending champion of this particular one. She has won it twice, and looks like one lady who every name on this category looked forward, and to getting to see Kennedy, displaying that too was very fantastic. Nina Kennedy is one lady who did her best to. Maybe she never expected it, because at some point when they went on and on trying to get it, it looks like Cathy Moon will not give up. She will not also give up. And the best is also share. We saw this player, like you said, Temberi, who finally won the long jump event in this year's World Championship. Did same with Mamouche, some time ago at the just concluded Tokyo. So I think that is lovely. It's really about spirit of sportsmanship, and for me, that made my day. Yes, they getting to see that play out, and I think that this is what we always expect. I love the fact that the rules also allow for things like this. Otherwise, it would have been very difficult to really achieve that.
Well, after 3 attempts, which they could not go further, I think they were jumping at 4.95 after taking out 4.90. They couldn't get it, and they just agreed among themselves. Like you mentioned, the rules allows for a jump-off. But if you don't want to do the jump-off, then you can agree and share medals. And that's exactly what happened there between, the Cathy Moon from the United States of America and counterparts from Australia, Nina Kennedy. And for Nina Kennedy, she's on top of the moon, so to say, because she set a new, national record for herself.
Yeah, she did. Getting to that level, it doesn't come cheap at all. Nobody would have believed that Nina Kennedy we get to the level. It's 4.90. It's difficult, so difficult, and that was why after this attempt, it took the effort for her. She was so determined, not to give up. But when Cathy Moon came to her and said, "Why kill herself when we can, share this?" She never expected it, because at the level of Cathy Moon, it would have been very difficult for her to go ask Cathy Moon to share this. But after the discussion, she was like a bastard. She was surprised that Cathy Moon can be that humble to get to see her, and this lady have really done so well. So I think that Cathy Moon is really deserve an applause, going for her, having achieved everything, and seeing a young lad, replicating her feat. For me, it's lovely. I'm sure that every Australian yesterday will be very pleased and proud of what Kennedy was able to achieve yesterday.
Cathy Moon, the new Temberi, if you remember, Temberi had to go to the Qatari, athlete to say, well, we can share. And that's exactly what Cathy Moon, defending champion, has done. And I think it's worthy of commendation, and that's good spirit of sportsmanship. And Kennedy, in the process, setting a new record, national record for Australia in pole vault. We say congratulations to the two, and of course, showing example to the rest of the world. It's not just in sports; it could happen in any sphere of life where you agree to share. And I think that's the spirit we find from sports, especially at the highest level at the World Athletics Championship. Let's quickly wrap up on that, but we'll take a look at the medals table right now. Epo, as expected, United States of America has gotten 7 gold medals, 6 silver and 6 bronze medals, as compared to Spain, who so far has 4 gold medals, no silver, no bronze medal. Jamaica is in 3rd place position. That's at the world level.
Yeah, for United States of America, I think just yesterday they were unable to win. Just the 6 never favored them because although they got some win, but not gold, and that ensured that they still have 7 gold medals. But I'm sure that maybe today, tomorrow, they will still have more gold medals because they have a lot of athletes who are still competing strongly. And my biggest surprise is Spain and Jamaica.
Yes, 2 gold medals.
2 gold medals, yeah. Jamaica before now was not in the top 3. Earlier yesterday we saw Great Britain, had 2 gold medals and a lot of other medals that ensured that they are second. But later in the evening we saw Spain won 2 gold medals from the 35-kilometer walk in the male and the female category that ensured that they are back with 4 gold medals. They have not won any silver or bronze, but that 4 gold medals speaks volume of what they truly want to achieve. And for them, it's okay. For Jamaica, I think they won the 400-meter race, and then courtesy of what that lady, did in the 100-meter hurdles, ensuring that they got to win that one. Danielle Williams, so 2 Jamaicans winning gold yesterday. That was fantastic. Nobody gave them a chance. Even the 400-meter, when Watson won that one, when you look at the stars, the arrays of stars, nobody would have believed that. So with courtesy of those 2 gold medals now, Jamaica are 3rd on the rankings.
Well, let's bring it down to Africa. Ethiopia seems to be leading on the medals table. We have Ethiopia, Kenya, Burkina Faso, Morocco, and Uganda all having 1 gold medal each. But by virtue of total number, Ethiopia leads. Kenya, Burkina Faso, Morocco, Uganda all having 1 gold medal.
Yeah, for Ethiopia and Kenya, I think that they have better chances of moving higher because the long distance races, some of them are already at the 5,000 meter. We're going to see the final, play out today, tomorrow. We also have the 10,000 meters in some of the categories. So don't forget that even the 3,000 women steeple chase that we're going to have it tomorrow. So for them, those long distance races, there is a sure bank that they have the ability to still get them, except something happened like we saw Air Bakali defended his own, outside the East African. But we keep our finger crossed. I'm very certain that Ethiopia and Kenya, if they get to win more medals, we're going to see them back in the top 3 in the world.
Today is day 7 at the World Athletics Championship in Budapest, Hungary. And if you're a follower of the event so far, you should be seeing an exciting triple jump event in the women category later today. A women's javelin throw will be coming up as well. And a lot of dash athletes and followers who want to see the women's 200 meters final and the men's 200 meters final tonight. And it promises to be very thrilling, with the defending champions all in the race. That will be it for World Athletics Championship. Let's quickly see the latest happening from the African Volleyball Championship. And Team Nigeria is in a very poor position, finishing 6th after a loss to Algeria.
Not a very good one. I mean, we lost 3 games out of 5. I think we did not really clothe ourselves in glory this time. A lot of people would have expected them to get the classification against Algeria, but they lost. I mean, they felt like a pack of cards, and that ensured that they are now ranked as 6th at the end of the competition instead of the 5th that they've expected. But I think that it's good. Sometimes you get to lose so that you can bounce back stronger in the nearest future. Nigeria
has lost, and they hope to bounce back in the nearest future. But for this year's African Volleyball Championship, Nigeria finished 6th out of the event, and that's not too good if you ask me. We need to walk it up right now. This is the time to start, pending when we get to the next volleyball championship here in Africa. And still looking around for the latest happening from the world of sports, we can give you that information that the Pan-African Scrabble Association President Pop and, of course, the African Youth Scrabble Championship is underway in Lagos, Nigeria. Over 225 athletes, scrabblers from Africa and America are competing for honors at the twin events that will last for 4 days. Do we have scrabblers that can get the job done for us, especially with the Americans in the mix?
Yeah, we have good scrabblers, and no surprise why Lagos is allowed to stage this one, because over time Nigeria has proven themselves to have good scrabblers. So, but I think that the good thing about it is that the winners in different categories will be going home with a big amount of money. Take, for example, the prize money for the President's Cup is at about $5,000 US.
President's Cup is $32,000 US.
$32,000 US. So, yeah, you can imagine. So, with 9,000, giving aside as prize money. So, for me, I think that a lot of money here, and I love the fact that it's even merged with the Junior Championship. Apart from the President Cup, we have a whole lot, and this is intercontinental. any good player is allowed to come from different areas to come and compete in Lagos.
Okay, let's get to football now. This is a busy weekend. We'll start first from the CAF Champions League. Enyimba International went away and got a narrow defeat. And can they make it up at about this weekend?
I mean, they have everything to fight for. They are going to be at home and they'll be more relaxed, and so I expect them to really pull a whole lot. If Al Ali Benghazi can beat them at home with those efforts we saw, nothing stopping Enyimba to win. I think that with a 1-0 win will be fine for them, but they should not concede more than expected.
Just talking about Nigeria's participation at the CAF Champions League and the CAF Confederations Cup. Last weekend, we saw 3 Nigerian club sides in action because Rivers United, one of the teams in the CAF Confederations Cup, was drawn by. But in the Champions League, Remo Stars and Enyimba represented the continent, Nigeria at the continent. While Enyimba went away and got a narrow defeat, 4-3, Remo Stars didn't have a good result as well.
Remo Stars did not. They lost that particular one away to the Ghanaian side, Medema FC. CS, and I think that they have to do everything possible to play at home now and win. For Enyimba and the Remo Stars, they look like a team that might just get this one, but they need goals. They shouldn't be lethargic. If they can score more goals and then defend very well, that would be their road, their narrow road to qualify. Otherwise, they allow the opposition to score, they will be in a very cagey encounter.
Well, just before we get to the other sports that are still pending right now, let's finish with the football scenes. And here in Nigeria, it's no longer news that the Nigerian Premier League was postponed from August 28th or so to September 9th. And the Nigerian Football Federation and the Club Owners Association are now at loggerheads, accusing each other of being part or not being part of the postponement exercise. Club owners have come out to say they did not seek for the league to be postponed from August 29 to September 9. No, which is the third time of postponement.
Yeah, it's lovely they came out because a lot of accusation pointing towards the direction of the Club Owners Association that over the years we have seen how far they finger the NFF or the MPFL board or the IMC into postponing the league because some of them are not ready. But this time around, they have come out to debunk such claim that they have no hand, in the postponement. So that doesn't look like the club owners are the ones, causing this. So if you want to blame, the blame should go outrightly to the MPFL board for not putting the house in order, before making pronouncement as such, ensuring that we now have 3 postponements within 2 months.
Returning back to the CAF Champions League fixtures for this weekend, we told you that Rivers United are out because they are drawn by, but the Insurance of Benin is the other CAF Confederation candidate for Nigeria, and I'm not too sure they had a good result last weekend because it was a narrow 1-0 win. Can they survive the second leg?
Asoclef against Benin Insurance, it will be very difficult when you look at the opposition they're going to play. Asoclef hails from the North African region, Algeria precisely, and we hear that the gate has been thrown open for the fans to come in. Usually they take gate takings, unlike us in this part of their climb. But I think that when they make doors open for fans to come in, you can begin to envisage what will happen in the stadium tomorrow. But I think that the ability for Benin Insurance, who are known as draw specialists, to get into the game and prepare for the worst, that would really save them because the antics of the North Africans can be very dramatic sometimes and can make a whole lot, change the narrative, apparently at this level. But I expect them to be very professional in the dealings with the North Africans tomorrow.
Well, let's hope that the Insurance of Benin, the Benin Arsenals, will know exactly how to navigate to the next stage of the CAF Confederations Cup, where Rivers United are already standing by. We're running out of time, and so quickly we'll have to go to Europe Expo. And this is a weekend where leagues across all the top 5 countries where football is played will be in action. There's return of matches in the Premier League and Italian League, Serie A, and the French League 1 as well. Let's first look at the Premiership in England. This weekend, tonight, there will be an encounter. Chelsea should be in action.
Yeah, Chelsea will play against Luton Town. And I think Mauricio Pochettino is well prepared. Of course, Chelsea have not won any game this season. So this might just be the ample opportunity for them to pick a point or pick maximum 3 points against the newcomers. but we hear that so one of the player, Matilo Mudric, will not be part of the game this evening. And so possibly we're going to see a replacement that will help Chelsea to get maximum win ahead of the encounter tonight. So for me, I just keep my finger crossed and hope that Chelsea will be able to boost maximum win. They lost to West Ham last weekend, and I think that they should use that grievance, to get a maximum win today. But Luton Town, don't take nothing for granted. They are not in the English Premier League for them to come and lose to. So they also want to play to their best and see how far they can give Chelsea a good run for their money.
In the La Liga, there will be action tonight, and Celta Vigo is hosting Real Madrid. In the crunch time, Real Madrid had the first 3 points in the first game. Can they take a second 3 points against Celta Vigo?
For Real Madrid, one thing certain now, Ancelotti have told the boys, every game, take it one after the other, and it doesn't matter how you win, ensure that you win. That's the mentality they're going with this time around. So for Celta Vigo, I am not also going to be surprised because they too, they haven't had all the glorious moments since the start of the La Liga Santander. I expect them to also push for maximum point against Real Madrid.
If you're full of the La Liga, Las Palmas is in action tonight as well. They have their counterparts, Real Sociedad, to contend with. Real Sociedad, no doubt, showing that they are a team that wants to play in the Champions League.
For Real Sociedad, they truly are a team that wants to play in the Champions League, but you don't take early days. Yes, you take early days seriously because early days matter so much. Real Sociedad, as it stands now, they have not really done very well. They are seated 13th on the medals table with just 3 points. So I expect them to do everything possible to see if they can win more games. Because if you lose at this point in the middle of the season, it could be very devastating if you don't get maximum point now.
Let's get to France, and the Ligue 1 in France North is in action tonight against Monaco. And talking about Monaco, they are looking forward to receiving United States of America player that plays for Arsenal, Balogun. Will this deal be seen before this match tonight?
I think it's possible. We hear that almost everything is sealed. Just maybe for the medicals and then for his unveiling. But whether he's going to play tonight is what I cannot vouch for. But I think that the deal will put through, and he will really make a major impact, for the French side. For me, I expect a very cagey encounter because when these two sides play together, for Monaco, over time they used to be very strong when they were doing that big cash, But now they have to fight it all out, and if we want to start thinking of winning the title, it's now.
That's the outlook of the fixtures in European football tonight. But talking about European football reminds me of the fact that one of Nigeria's celebrated players, John Mikel Obi, will play for Chelsea in the Legends of Europe game against Bayern Munich. That will be coming up at Stamford Bridge in the next couple of days, September 9 to be precise. A Legends match is put together in honor of Chelsea forward Gianluca Vialli, who was a manager to Mikel Obi, if you do remember. This is one game that will show off big names that play for Chelsea. We have big names like Ramirez, Terry, former captain John Terry, Malouda, Salomon Kalou, and the legendary African player Michael Essien. Not to forget Roberto Matteo will be around this fixture.
Lovely to see. This is we get to see this game. It's a one-off game, and it's to raise money for the foundation as well as for charity. And so getting to assemble this star-studded Chelsea, SY Chelsea players is, for me, a very lovely feat. I won't get to see them again after that time or that spell. It brings memories, a whole lot of memories. For Mikel, I'm happy that he's been invited because he has strong affiliation with Jali, the man himself, who will be honored. So let's see how it all pans out. September 9th, so I'll keep our finger crossed. That day is international break, I think so. But we'll see how this one play out.
Talking about transfer of players, and of course in Europe, the transfer season is still on, and our tracker has spotted Maduka Okoye. Remember him, goalkeeper for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. He's now moved to Udinese in the Italian Serie A. This is good news from Spartan Rotterdam in Holland. Now he will be playing for Udinese in Italy.
Yeah, last season he was with Watford FC in the Championship in England. Unfortunately, it was not favorable at all. In fact, at some point, the way he was benched, he lost his #1 position in the Super Eagles of Nigeria. So for Maduka Okoye, he needs to revive his career, and the best push now is to go to Udinese, where he will now battle with some of the big names. Maybe not big name, but Eduardo Pina is there, and that seems to be one of the goalkeepers that he will be battling against. So for me, I just keep my finger crossed and see how far he can go. If he does well, I would say that the door is still open for him to come to the national team.
Well, that will be for this edition of Sports Talk. But just before we go, remember that Alexis Sanchez, you remember him, he played for Arsenal, will be undergoing medical in Italy tonight. But we'll give you all of the details when we return on our program, Sports Extraordinary, when our focus will be on the weekend fixtures in Europe and how players are moving towards the end of the transfer season. And that will be it for this edition. Remember, peace and unity are clearly pathways to progress. Always enjoy here on Atlantic Television Network.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring.
Every day, our lives are changed by history.
We are one people, all of us.
Leaders, politics,
Nobody's ambition is what's the blood.
I have fought a very firmly.
natural occurrence, war, and the world economy.
I belong to everybody, and I belong to nobody.
ATN covers it all on ATN Politics today.